Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we have some booking plans for John Cena's last match. A top WWE star's future has been clarified. A WWE newcomer who is set for a breakout year in 2026. And on top of all that, we've got Eddie Kingston outlining some pretty funny retirement plans. I'm Andy. This is the news. It's another gloomy ass morning here in merry old England. I'm sorry about that. But hey, we've only got a couple more days of this nonsense to go, and then we'll be back in a proper studio. So let's just get through this. Let's do it. Let's talk about John Cena and his last match. Obviously, it's the big wrestling story of the year. Well, one of them. There's a lot of big stories this year, but this is all-encompassing, particularly right now because the match is on Saturday. At Saturday night's main event, he will face Gunther, and according to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, this match is going to be the opener on that show. It's not going to be the main event. It's not going last. It's not some grand show closing ceremony. It's going to happen first. So here's what Alvarez said. It's quite interesting. At this point, there is no set runtime for Saturday night's main event, so everybody will get all the time they need. Good. Cena versus Gunther is currently scheduled to open the show, and Cena will get as much time as he wants. So I think this is particularly strange because the thing is with this is that you'd imagine that John Cena's not just going to wrestle a match and then leave, right? That's my last match. I'm off. See you later. You'd imagine he's going to do some kind of ceremony, some kind of promo, some kind of big thing that we've seen from other wrestlers when they get this moment and all of that. Or maybe they'll Goldberg him and run out of time. I don't know. But they can't do that because it's first and there's no time limits. That's literally the story, Andy, you absolute div. But yeah, I think it's an interesting move. I think also from the standpoint of once you get through that match and you have the emotional dump and you have the high of seeing John Cena in his last match and he does a speech and everyone's crying and all of this stuff and it's very emotional. How do you get back up for a bunch of wrestling matches? That's going to be a challenge. I remember when CM Punk debuted on The First Dance in AEW, returning to wrestling for the first time in X amount of years. And after that, it was like, yeah, there was some nice matches on the show. I think Daniel Garcia versus Jon Moxley was next. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it was just like, man, my endorphins are gone. My dopamine is gone. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it is a really good card, to be fair. I'm particularly looking forward to Leon Slater and Javon Evans versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. But it's a good lineup for sure. And you'd imagine that the wrestlers will be busting their ass, because it's going to have a big audience. I mean, the thing with this show is that here in the UK, it's on YouTube, which is phenomenal. You guys have it on Peacock in the US, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's not exactly inaccessible. If you want to be able to watch this, there's a very good chance you'll be able to. But yeah, look, it's John Cena, man. It's like this is one of the biggest retirement matches ever in terms of like how big a star he is and how much they've made of the farewell tour, the farewell year. Not everybody gets a farewell like this. Some wrestling legends' careers just fritter away. They fizzle out. Ric Flair's a great example of that. Hulk Hogan even. His last match was on a UK house show for TNA, the tag team match. He didn't even enter the ring. So, not everybody gets this level of rollout, even the biggest stars in the business sometimes. So it says a lot that they've gone to all this trouble. I think it'll pay off. Like, I mean, if everybody else is getting unlimited time effectively, cool, that's great. It means that no matches are going to be cut. And if Cena's allowed to do whatever the heck he wants, he's earned that, right? He's been one of the top guys. He was the top guy for years and years and years, for well over a decade in WWE. So if anyone's going to get that privilege, it's going to be him. Just a bit curious about it going first. Personally, I'm a traditionalist. I would quite like it to go last, just because, it's silly old-fashioned wrestling stuff. But that's what I'm into. I like silly old-fashioned wrestling stuff, and I'm not silly for it, okay? Yeah. Anyway, you're not silly, and that's why you should vote in our wrestling awards. You've only got a couple more days of us plugging this because the voting ends on Sunday. Like last year, our awards are determined by you. They're not determined by us. We have no influence on them whatsoever. So please go ahead and vote. The link is in the description below. If you can't be bothered clicking it, it's bit.ly/wrestling awards. That's bit.ly/wrestling awards. Wrestler of the year, show of the year, promotion of the year, best moment, worst moment, most disappointing thing. There's all kinds of good stuff in there. And we've had a tremendous turnout so far, so keep it going. Sunday, everything closes. Right, let's deliver an update now on the top WWE star's future. Maybe clear up some rumors that have been spreading about this gentleman over the past few weeks. LA Knight Yeah, we spoke about him yesterday, of course, talking about him being set for a renewed push according to Body Slam next year. Well, according to Fightful, this man is also going nowhere. So, good. On the 8th of December episode of Raw, there was a bit of speculation following LA Knight around because he was beaten by Logan Paul in a match, and then he was pretty much beaten up by 4 dudes. Afterwards, he was attacked backstage and the show went off the air and a bunch of people were speculating, what was this? Was this a write-off? Is it just an angle? Is he done? Is he taking a break? What the heck is going on? Well, to the people who think he was done, he's not done. He's not leaving. Fightful explicitly say that Knight is not leaving WWE. He re-signed with them in 2024 and he has several years left on his contract. So you don't need to worry about that. When Fightful reached out about this situation, they were confused as to why people were outraged by it. And they said it was a standard story beat that will be revisited. So yeah, they're going to pay off him getting beaten by Logan Paul and beaten up by 4 dudes. It's a story. Not everything is an elaborate sign that somebody is on the way out of the company. It's just a story. Also, Fightful spoke about the conspiracy theories that have lingered since Knight held up a sign in the crowd saying, "We want LA Knight, not Jey Uso," which was perceived as some kind of response to fan rebellion. Look, they covered this a month ago and they were like, no, there's nothing to it at all. He's not being punished for it either. And apparently that's just been clarified again. He's not being punished. Somebody in creative pointed out that him being booked to beat Jey Uso would be a weird punishment. Yeah, the man just reached the finals of the last time his now tournament, beating a former world champion to get there. So yeah, look, I know LA Knight is a guy that many people want to see in the world title picture heading into 2026. He's extremely over. He's extremely popular. So I get it. I totally get it. I imagine you will see him at that level at some point. I mean, listen to the reactions the guy gets. You might as well try it. And if it doesn't work, you can just move on. But yeah, he's super over. He's really good at his job, obviously. He's a great promo, really good wrestler too. And I do think he will probably be in WWE till he retires. I mean, he's perfect for that environment, right? He's phenomenal. Just a phenomenal fit for the Fed. And yeah, if you're an LA Knight fan, you do not have to worry about this bloke at all. He's going to get a push at some point. Just because he hasn't been the big world champion this year doesn't mean he's not being pushed. I mean, look at all the top stars he's worked with throughout the year. CM Punk, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, loads and loads and loads of them. He's rubbed shoulders with basically everybody, man. He's going to be absolutely fine. Don't worry about LA Knight. He's there for the long haul and he's probably getting a push sometime soon, right? I mean, he's already getting a push, but, getting a bigger one. Speaking of somebody who's a little bit further down the totem pole, but might also be getting a big push, I guess. Push, we're saying that word a lot. Remember, 2 O's when you spell the word. Somebody a bit further down the rankings who might be getting an elevation next year. We're talking about Lash Legend here. Don't worry, I've not put legend in the title today. I know some people didn't like that. But yeah, according to bodyslam.net, WWE officials they're impressed and they like what they've seen of Lash on the main roster so far. They say that the alliance with Nia Jax is supposed to get her up to speed with main roster talent as quickly as possible. And people in WWE are confident that she will have a breakout year in 2026. So I recently made a list of 8 wrestlers, I think it was 8, set to break out in 2026. Lash Legend was one of the first entries on that. I think she's absolutely great. I think that introducing her with Nia Jax is a proven formula. It worked extremely well with Tiffany Stratton on the main roster, and I think it'll pay off in a similar way here. Doing an alliance first, building to an eventual match, perhaps. And yeah, I think she fits it extremely well. She's a really remarkable case of improvement. Her improvement from the first time we saw her to today is incredible, really. You go back and watch, I think it was Electra Lopez. She had a match really early on when she was really green and really inexperienced. Still kind of green, but she's improved a lot. They had this match on NXT and it was it was terrible. It was terrible. It was 2 wrestlers who weren't ready for the spot. And that it sucked is not their fault. It's the fault of the company for putting them in that position. It shouldn't have existed. She would probably been tying up with more experienced wrestlers than themselves. But to where not Nia Jax, that's her partner. To where Lash Legend is now is a huge turnaround. I think she's one of the more impressive kind of rookie stories from the Performance Center in recent years. And you're talking about somebody who's not coming in with 5 years of indie experience or anything like that. She's new to this and she's learned it and she's clearly worked hard. And really developed. So now that she's on the main roster, working with even better wrestlers than down in NXT, I think she's only going to flourish more. It's she's a really exciting prospect, Lash Legend, and I look forward to seeing where this Nia Jax alliance goes and what kind of singles push it gets her in the end of all of this. Good luck to her. Great run. She's looked totally at home on the main roster and on SmackDown with Nia and all that stuff. Let's move over to AEW for our final story here. Yeah, I've kind of just put this in because it popped me, to be honest. But Eddie Kingston has been interviewed on Gabby AF, and he's outlining his retirement plans. He's just going to bugger off and you're never going to hear from him again by the sounds of things. So here's what he said. Basically, that he has 6 more years on his AEW contract. And he also said, I want to make my money and then buy a place in Alaska and get the F away from society. Get me the F to Alaska. As long as I can watch the Yankees, Giants, Knicks, and Rangers, all that stuff with streaming, I'm good. Leave me alone. So, I mean, it's the most Eddie Kingston expression imaginable, really. Just go away, leave me alone. And I don't blame him at all. Look, this bloke's been a wrestler for like 20 years, man. So 6 more years after a long injury, that's quite a lot. I'm happy, personally, because I'm a huge fan of the dude. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time on work and like a human level. I think he comes across like the way he talks about mental health and stuff really, really talks to me and really speaks to me. And I know I'm not alone in that. Like his Players Tribune article the other year was really, really affecting stuff. But also, man, of course Eddie's going to be one to just be left alone when he steps away from the business. I've no doubt that wrestling enacts a very heavy physical and mental toll on him, as it does a lot of people. And although he loves it and it's what he was put here to do, in my belief, yeah, he's probably looking forward to a clean break. I mean, Alaska's wild. That's miles away, man. That's miles away from the rest of the USA. Got mosquitoes up there, I heard, that are absolutely gigantic. Crazy. Crazy stuff. But look, my own retirement plans are pretty similar. In I don't know, 2150 or whatever the retirement age will be in the UK by that point. It's crazy. I'm going to disappear into the wilds of Scotland and you'll never see me again either. But I won't be watching the Yankees and the Knicks. I'll be watching Aberdeen Football Club conquering Europe, obviously. Living with my partner and a border collie and a German shepherd and a Hungarian Vizsla. We're going to have like 200 dogs. It's going to be great. But look, I love Eddie Kingston. He wrestled Samoa Joe on Winter is Coming last night. It was for the world title and all that stuff. So never going to have any qualms about my man being in that kind of spot. Love the dude. Hope he's doing well. Hope he's not thinking about that retirement a little bit too much, because I think he still has a lot to give. Anyway, thank you for joining me for today's news video. No more news today, but we'll be back tomorrow, probably with another one of these. I don't know. Is the office built yet? I'll find out later on. But yeah, thank you for persevering through this lockdown style video phase. But we will be back and we'll be in our shiny new swanky arena before arena. That's setting unrealistic expectations, isn't it? But hey, yeah, thanks. Vote in the awards. They're great. You're going to love them. Check out the videos on your screen right now. Sorry, Judge. You've been covered up. The algorithm thinks you're going to love it. Bye-bye.